Greetings, YouTube. Today I'd like to talk about a dice set. Now this, from the label you can see, Big Bonanza dice set. Here we go, the Big Bonanza dice set. 60 dice, colors, and dice may vary. So these are not going to be exact sets every single time. I bought this specifically as part of a project I'm working on for my nephews. But I gotta be honest, I may pick up one of these for myself. There we go. Kind of a nice little tube, though I don't have a use for a plastic tube. So you get 60 dice in this set, and the tape is here as a mark. So I kind of know that I'm in the center of the viewfinder because I'm using a setup that I can't actually see my screen at the moment. So let's look at things we get here. We get things like letter dice. And one of the things I did notice right off the bat is that this stuff has a really strong plastic scent. And some of these have a different texture to them. Like this is more of the traditional six-sided die material. This one seems much lighter. It's still a functional dice, but we have a number of these letter dice in here. I think we have 4 of them. We have 4 of them, so that's not a complete alphabet. You may get a complete alphabet, maybe if you luck out, but it would still let you come up with words, and you can use these things to create choices if you have charts. You could use this for example, each one of these letters could designate a chart, and then you would roll other dice on that chart itself. So there we have some of those. Then we have a selection of different colored dice, both in round and in square styles, and I think that's all the colored ones. And these have the primary and tertiary colors in them. I like these square ones. They're nice deep inset, so it has a nice tactile sensation to them. They are really quite pleasant, and again, good for kids who don't necessarily understand numbers, but they can do colors. And these right here have more pastel-y style colors in them, and these are actually die 3s. They're colors, but they're die 3s because they're double colors on each one. Then we have some of the classic poker dice. Do we have a complete set of poker dice? I think you need 5 for a complete set of poker dice, don't you? And we do seem to have all 5, so I think that's how that works. I've never used poker dice for anything. I think these may be the only poker dice. I may have a set of poker dice in my collection, but it may have been purchased at like a yard sale or something. Then we have some simple colored dice, and this is in more of the kind of the traditional Yahtzee dice size here, and we have greens and reds and blues, so that's kind of cool. Then we also have some colored dice which are in a slightly smaller scale. And we have some here that are in a an in-between size that have an ivory finish. We have how many ivory finish ones we got? We appear to have 4 ivory colored ones. They kind of actually look almost like traditional bone dice, which are kind of rare. And then we have some of the traditional Yahtzee style dice. Then we have some number dice, which is good for kids if they're learning their numbers, not just counting pips, but actually want to learn their numbers, which is kind of nice. And I like the fact that they put the designation here that it's a 6, not a 9. Obviously, most adults would know that because it's a 6-sided die, but some kids may be confused by that. Here we have some little tiny dice. These are the smallest ones, and the traditional white die 6s. Then we have I missed a colored green one, so we actually have an even number. We have 3 reds, 3 blues, and 3 greens. Quite cool. We have a couple of these larger sized, these have a really nice feel to them. I like these. These are good. It has a nice feel to it. Yeah, I could definitely see myself using those in a role-playing game. Then we have some of the less traditional dice to your average American. These are all die 6s, but we have some 4-sided dice, and these are the ones that have the number rolling on the bottom. Some I've seen ones that had the number on the top in the past. So we've got 3 4-sided dice. We have 2 10-sided dice, which really wouldn't let you do percentiles because you really need 2 different colors. But you know, they're still cool, and you can still use them as 10-sided dice. Then we have 2 8-sided dice. Also very cool. Apparently they run low. And then we have 2 12-sided, and I happen to be a big fan of 12-sided dice. I've always enjoyed having them around. The aesthetics of a 12-sided die is something about the 5-sided pentagon that makes me smile. I've always enjoyed them. And then we have 2 classic D20s, both blue. Now again, it says dice may vary, so I don't know what you're going to get in a set. You have enough here to do your most role-playing games. Not all role-playing games, but a lot of role-playing games. Particularly if you're using die 6s in the dice pool, or you're playing GURPS or any other number of systems that use D6s. These are good for kids. Again, for young kids, they have colored dice. You have poker dice for people who like to play that kind of thing. We have letter dice, which can use as by role players or be used by kids that are learning their letters. And all of these things have a wonderful tactile sense. They feel good. The only ones that are a little on the odd side of these just feel kind of oddly light. They just may be from a different plastic. Maybe even PVC possibly. They feel that light. They could be PVC. I'm not positive. But there you go. There you go, folks. These have been the Dice Bonanza 60 dice set. And I picked this up at Target, and it was on their $10 and under rack. I believe it was actually like $9.99 or something like that. It could have been $10. And this is from the Cardinal Industries Incorporated, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if they produce that they produce dice in general, or is this something that they're reselling things that from other manufacturers? I don't know. It has a QR code, which I have no way of reading at the moment. My wife's smartphone is with her. There you go, folks. I thought that gamers might find this interesting.